Hello, my name is Gil Rebollar, and I'm a Cal State Northridge student in the Masters of Public Administration program, and my research proposal is on restaurant tipping. It's titled Restaurant Tipping and Payday, a study and analysis on restaurant tipping and the time of the month. I'm enrolled in Dr. Jackiewicz class. The outline will consist of the introduction, background, significance of study, my hypothesis and proposed research method, and future implications. As you can see, I'm attempting to view a correlation between payday and tipping, as you can see in the two photos. So, introduction. Prior to working in the public sector, I worked in the restaurant industry, and there's a lot of common assumptions about tipping, although there was no hard evidence on whether these assumptions were correct or false. So I'll be diving into that. To begin, tipping, $42 billion. Every year, Americans spend $42 billion on tipping. I believe that anything involving that amount of money is deserving to be studied. And to put it into perspective, that is more than the GDP of Madagascar, Haiti, and Afghanistan combined. One of the researchers also even said that despite dining out being a staple of American culture, there are very few studies on it. Also, what's important to know is that the significance of this, that Americans are eating out more than ever. For the first time, more money is being spent on eating out than on groceries, whether that's due to money, time constraints. But dining out is becoming a major staple in American culture. It should be studied. So one of the common assumptions among servers in the restaurant industry is that people tip more around payday, specifically the first and middle day of the month. When I worked in the restaurant, many people wanted to work on those days because they believed people left larger tips. So there have been several studies on variables that do affect tipping. Among them are the method of payment, the demeanor and atmosphere of the restaurant, and even the gender of the server have all affected tipping. As far as specific days on when people tip, the only study that I've found was that people tip more around holidays, specifically Christmas. Tis a season for giving, and people that go out to eat, they take that to heart and tip larger tips. And also, another study in 2004 found that people tend to spend more on days of the paychecks, or the day of they receive their paychecks, or the days preceding it. Spending spikes around those days, so people spend more money around paydays. My hypothesis for the study is that restaurant customers will be more likely to leave a bigger tip at the beginning of the month within the first 2 days, and the middle of the month, 16th, 17th, 18th, due to findings that consumers tip more on specific days and spend more following paydays. And that is my hypothesis. This research will consist of two studies, one of the consumer and one of the restaurant, and it will be a month-long study conducted at a popular chain restaurant. Study will categorize tips as seen in the slide in relation to the total of the bill. 0 to 10% of the total bill will be categorized as very low. 10 to 13.9 will be categorized as low. 14 to 16 will be categorized as standard. Several studies have found that 15% is the average tip. 16 to 20 is high, and 20 and above is very high. Study 1 will rely on the consumer. The subjects will be given a data sheet to record when they go out to eat and how much the bill was and how much they tipped, and they will also be tasked with specifying what days they receive their paychecks. Prior studies though have relied on this, but one of the problems was that subjects it's the honesty of a subject. Sometimes consumers say they tip more than they actually do to appear generous, and servers also even have exaggerated how much they tip to lower tip means bad service, and perhaps exaggerate to not want that assumption. Study 2 will utilize the restaurant in their point of sale system, otherwise known as the POS system. The POS system is relatively new to the restaurant, but relatively new to the restaurant industry, but has changed the way businesses can record data. It essentially records everything: how much is ordered, how much is food, and they record the tips. The study will analyze the tips recorded in the POS system by analyzing the report sheet on a daily basis for the duration of the study. The report sheet is handled by management, so the server cannot exaggerate how much they received. After the month, study 1 and study 2 will be analyzed, and to see highs and lows and what days tips were large. And like I said, the tips are based on not how much the amount, but percentage of the total bill. So say they got $10 on a $100 bill and 15 on a $100 bill. The 15 will be more because it's a higher percentage. I believe that there will be a correlation between payday and tipping, because people just like to spend more. And also I believe that the restaurant servers have the experience to know these trends without having hard data. Future considerations, like I said, this is only a month-long study, but it can be taken to a year to see, perhaps even reveal economic nationwide trends. We could also include the credit card statements of consumers to really gauge their honesty in different types of restaurants. My references, and thank you.